Hi there. It's been a while since we recorded the video Flow Design Goes Cloud. So, what has changed since then?
Many things, right? I mean, the cool thing about the cloud product is that changes are rolled out and you just get them without having to install anything. So I think it's good to look at some of the highlights that have gone in over the past couple of weeks. And I think it's best to start with something that everybody that's new will see, which is the guided tour. Now, I've already done the tour, so to enable it, I can now click this button here, self-help, and go to Flowable Design Guided
So
Tour.
that there are also way more other helps which you can just go through.
Exactly, all kind of links, all kind of, trying to find your way. If you're new,
Yeah.
where can I find more information about Flowable, about some of the customers,
Hmm.
even I think about pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as you can see here, it kind of makes the background blurry, and I can now, it says, there's a Flow examples workspace, and more
Yeah.
about workspaces in a second. But pretty much I can go into it. There's an example case. I think this is also
Yeah.
new. And basically, it now guides me through.
Hmm.
Through this thing. And as you can
And
see, it is explaining to me some things about
it's
CMMN. Now,
it's even explaining you basically the standard behind the scenes in case you know the
yes,
standard and what's happening. It's really
exactly. I mean,
useful.
I'm not gonna exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go through this today, right? I mean, then we can read it all by yourself at home. But yeah, if
Yeah.
you're new and you just don't know what this is, it's very helpful
Yeah.
to get like a first glimpse of what is possible.
That, that's
Yeah,
really
that's the
cool.
guided tour. Definitely for new people, very cool.
What is the thing about workspaces which you want?
Yes, very good point. So basically, it's a new concept that we've added to design, which is, as the name implies, a workspace where you can put
Yep.
all your models in that belong together. I can create workspaces to work together with other people, right? You can also
Yep.
see that they are public. I can make
Mm-hmm.
them private. Now, right now, this is still limited
Yep.
what you can do with it, but we have many features in the pipeline where I can
Yep.
then add you to my workspace, for example, and work together with you, change visibility of certain
Yep.
models and stuff like that. That's all possible with this change.
That makes completely sense. So that allows you basically to have that additional layer between app and tenant
Yeah.
where you
Yes, good
can
point.
within your
Yeah,
tenant work together as well.
exactly. It's really in yeah, as you say, a layer between the tenants and the models. It's something that we didn't have in the old version of design. So within a tenant, I can have basically unlimited workspaces, and yeah, thus make my work more structured in a way. But yeah, indeed, if I'm in the tenant, those workspaces could be available to me. So it's really a new concept within the tenants. Yeah.
That makes sense. Now, within a workspace, you have different processes or
Yeah.
processes. And in there, I think there's now also new the possibility that you go ahead and templates. What is it all
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, so let me just show you. So I go in my workspace. I'm going to create a demo app. I'm bad at naming, as you know, so I'm just going to call this demo. And I'm going
It's
to
a
create
demo,
a,
so it's fair to name it demo.
that's quite easy today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to create a demo process. And
Yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user task A, going to create a user task B, and I'm
And
going
you
to create
call the last one D instead of C. Just for fun.
uh, that's a few, but here we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I can save this now. I can
Mm-hmm.
go to my app and
Yeah.
I can say mark as a template, which is new.
Okay.
Here we go. It's marked as a template. And what happens now if I now create a new process, right? Because if I select the case, nothing there. But if I select the process and say demo 2, let's say, you can
Yeah.
see that I can now actually use this process I just created, this model,
Yeah.
as a blueprint, as a template for creating
Mm-hmm.
that. Here we go.
And
And
you have basically a new process which was created based on
exactly, based
other
on the template, based on the
process.
blueprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Now this ABD is really bothering me, so this is a
Yeah. Yeah.
nice segue into what I wanted to show next, which is the spacer tool. Now this is a feature that many people have asked for. It's something that was in the previous version of design, and people use this a
Yeah.
lot. I'm just going to show, right? So here I'm going to enhance it.
It's really helpful when you need space somewhere within your
Yeah, I
diagram.
mean, now it's quite simple to imagine, right? Because I only have one line, but this also works in a very complicated process case where you have a lot of things going on and it moves everything nicely, to the right or to the left, depending on what you do. And yeah, it allows you to easily make your process model larger. Now, there's another feature I wanted to show here, which is that I can now drop it here on sequence flow, and it will automatically split that sequence flow into two. And basically, this is also a feature we had in the previous version, but it has been improved visually to work in way more cases and work correctly in all these cases. And I'm just gonna, here we go, call the C. So here we go. At least peace is restored in the universe.
Now you
So
could
yeah,
even use the spacer tool again to adjust the space in between that. Say.
yeah, exactly. I can play around with this, and it's actually pretty smart. So it stops me from screwing up the model and stuff like that. So yeah,
that is
yeah, very useful feature that many people have asked us for, and it's in there now. Yeah.
Cool. Then
another thing maybe that I want to show is pools and lanes. I mean, that was definitely the old version of design, but we've done some serious work here. So let me just put a pool here. Let me add a lane, and let me rename this one. Just scroll over again. Demo where and 2. And what you can see here, it's all of the resizing logic that we've added to all the things like sub-processes, case models, and stuff like that.
It's really smooth.
Exactly. So what I can do now is I can move these things in here, here. I'm not gonna spend time on trying to make it.
You could at least move something into the.
Exactly. Good point. I mean, if I do this something here and do this, you can see that that's maybe something to mention. Our logic to recalculate the sequence flow has actually been improved quite a bit in the sense that it's really now calculating what are the nice, the angly kind of models that we all like. So what is new here is that I can add new lanes to it easily. There's a button for that. I can add them above or below. Yep.
When
so
you
I can
edit
do this one here.
below, then it is basically also in the middle of. So.
Yeah, so if I do this one here, right, there's another lane here. I can now move things around, like these are the buttons here. Here we go, nicely moving around. So if you've worked with old design, you can work with pools and lanes in there, but it's a lot of tedious manual work. So we really...
Even if you go ahead and move that lane 1 now to the bottom, it will automatically adjust also the sequence flow that it is going out from top.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool feature.
As you can see here, right, I mean... Yeah, we spent quite a lot of time on this sequence flow recalculation because it's not that hard to recalculate, but it's really hard to make it visually appeasing, and that's exactly what
Can you actually make a screenshot of that and send it, since that is?
It's good that you mentioned that, because exactly, let me just make it pretty here. There's another couple of buttons here, which is the download of an image and the download to the XML, right? I mean, the download to the image for the screenshot. Let me just download it.
You don't even need to go ahead and
no, I don't need to make a screenshot here. Exactly, right? So
that is
yes. So this works with any size of model, and it will generate for you a PNG image that you can then share with all your friends and family. The other export, I mean, this is quite straightforward. This was also there.
It's a BPMN XML.
Exactly. I mean,
we know how that looks like.
Exactly, not that interesting. So yeah,
there's one last point which we would like to see about app revisions.
Yes, good point. Yes. So in the app, well, maybe I just first save it here so I don't lose it. So in the app, there's now, I mean, there's a couple of new things here, but the most interesting one is that you can create a revision. Now, a revision is really like a snapshot in time of the state of that app with all the models included that you just want to store for later reference. So if I just say something here, you give a unique key like everything else in Flowable.
Version 1.0 or?
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need the version. Yeah, you can choose whatever you want, right? Let me just say demo version 1 or something like that. Here we go. And you can see that I created this point. Now, what you can then do is you can say, so there's a couple of things once you have that you can do is, well, of course, you can revert to this revision. So you can say, okay, even if you have a long list of revisions, I'm just going to create a second one just for
So I have seen there's also a copy button, basically, to copy it into another workspace. So in theory, we could go ahead and say we would like to copy that in a workspace,
in another workspace,
production maintenance for that version, and adapt it in there.
Correct. Yes. Yes, exactly. Another one that you also can do from here is then download this revision, right? Which is again a snapshot of the state, even if your models have evolved since then. And something we mentioned in the previous video, but worthwhile mentioning again, is that this zip file is the usable zip file both for deploying it to a runtime system and for importing it in again in design, which is
and actually you can also import from the old design and the open source modeler the zip files into Flowable Cloud Design, just to mention that as well, since that was not 100% clear.
Yeah, fair point. That was pretty much all the things, the high levels I want to show you. I mean, there's a lot of smaller fixes that we've done, obviously, a lot of things that we've further nailed out in the sense of, dragging and dropping and making it even more smoother than it was before. But yeah, I would say go and try it for yourself. Creating an account on the Flowable Cloud is free. You can, do everything that I just showed you yourself, pretty much.
Perfect, thank you, Joam, and that are already really nice words to end that video. So thank you everybody for joining. See you in the next video.
Thank you. Until later.